Hey, my friends, welcome to this week's captivating episode on Motivational Moments with Maria. I'm your high performance coach, Maria. Honored that you are listening in. And oh, by the way, I just have to say thank you again for all the messages, the notes of encouragement. I do appreciate you. I appreciate you listening in. And of course, I always appreciate you sharing our messages so you can make a difference to someone else. So, every week I'm out here and I am always working on bringing you something of value for your own personal growth, for your personal development, because it is my intention, it is my hope that you live a vibrant, exciting, joyful, productive, and energetic life. So I'm doing a series where I'm bringing in colleagues of mine that are amazing individuals in their own right, and that they have made such tremendous growth in their own lives. So today I have a special guest all the way from New York. She's going to come in and join us, and her name is Rhonda Davison. And Rhonda is a published author. She is on her journey to speak at TEDx this summer, and she is what I call a spiritual fitness warrior. So, Miss Rhonda, welcome to the show. I'm so glad you could join me today.
Thank you, Maria. It's an honor to be here with you today.
I'm so glad you could join us. Now, listen, we've known each other for a couple of years now, maybe a few years now, and I've watched your development. We've watched each other growing. And tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us about your background, because it's somewhat interesting, and you're evolving into this incredible future woman, as I call it.
Oh, thank you, Maria. Well, by day in my mortgage company, I work as a project manager for the largest healthcare organization on the Northeast. They have 85,000 employees, and I am so grateful to be one of them. They have helped me step into a lot of opportunities. In my role as a project manager, I have a front row seat to helping people at the hospital step into their role on a project team, and we work on very complex projects that help the hospital manage their electronic medical record system and all of the systems that are the background of the hospital. So that's what a lot of people know about me. But what I've also done during this pandemic is I've dug deep into my personal development to become an author, like you just mentioned, to become a coach, a breakthrough coach, to help people get from their breaking points to their next breakthrough. I'm an Intensati leader, which is a spiritual fitness practice that I love, and I've helped so many people by embracing their mind, body, and their soul, and developing a practice to really go deep inside. During this time, I became a meditation teacher, right? A meditation teacher. And I just kept digging deep to really try to find the ways to fix me.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Let me ask a question. You said to fix me. You're
Yeah.
beautiful. There's nothing wrong with you. What made you feel that you needed fixing?
Yeah, well, I get to boast all of these achievements that you're helping me promote, but it wasn't always this way. Back in 2019, I felt dead inside. I was so sad. I had been suffering a grief journey for over 5 years. I had gone back to school after a 20-year hiatus because I was afraid of losing this job that I loved so much. Friendships were falling away because the job was changing, and now your best friends became your competition. So And I was recovering after being really, really sick and spending a month in the hospital after a cellulitis infection, which was like an episode of House. So after all of these things, I'm trying to go to my friends and ask them, do you know a therapist? Do you know somebody who can help? I just wanted to get the right book or the right thing. And I was looking all on the outside for all of this help. When my friends and I, we went to an event for my organization in 2019, and there was someone on stage, right? On stage. And she said something like, you are the master of your mouth, what goes in and what comes out. And that right there, it changed me, because I knew she wasn't just talking about our words. She wasn't just talking about food. I knew she wasn't just talking about food. She was, in fact, talking about our words and how much power our words have, and our thoughts have, and our feelings have. So that day she was on stage speaking to 2,000 people, but it was like she was directly speaking to me. And she was on stage inviting me to my life, to the rest of my life.
And you decided that moment, she's talking to me. This is really, it's coming through loud and clear. And so many of us, we ignore, right? We ignore, I would call it the calling, or we ignore the messages. Oh, that's not me. Oh, that's not me. But she was speaking directly to you now, wasn't she? And you could feel it.
That's exactly what happened, because she was doing this practice called Intensati, which I'd love to share with you, but it's a spiritual fitness practice that combines cardio moves that are intention-based moves with positive affirmation. So as she was saying on that stage, repeat after me and do this move, roll your wrists as fast as you can and say, I am powerful beyond measure. And in my mind, I said, she wants me to do what now? But my heart said something else. And I did it. And she did it over and over again with different affirmations and different moves. So that day, I went home thinking, can I be all of those things? Can I be powerful beyond measure? Can I be stronger than I think and braver than I seem? And yeah, and that I call my spiritual awakening, when I knew there could be another way to live.
Okay, so did you have to face some of the limiting beliefs that you had about yourself?
Oh boy, did I. Oh boy. Because this transformation thing, right? We think we're going to come out as beautiful butterflies, but what they don't tell you is how you have to crawl into the cocoon and you totally disintegrate. So yes, the person I just mentioned, her name was Patricia Moreno. I found out that she had classes in New York teaching Intensati. So I registered for all her classes in New York City. And yet, when I got on the express bus, right, from Staten Island to go to Manhattan, I started getting self-conscious. I started, why am I doing this? I was going to run out of the room, right? I felt embarrassed.
Oh no, we have a runner. We have a runner.
That's exactly how, yeah, that's exactly how I was like, how can I get out of this room? And lo and behold, Patricia bounced herself in front of me. She said, you're new. And what's your name? And may I give you a hug? What? That's not an exercise.
Like,
like, I'm not used to going to the gym and getting a hug from the instructor. So I just fell in love with her in this practice that very day, and I wasn't going to run anymore. I actually, the next month, I was signed up to become an Intensati leader. I didn't know why or how. I was 100 pounds overweight, and not in the greatest shape, but I knew that this was calling on my heart to, speak these positive affirmations into my life every day and help other people learn what it can do for them as well.
Okay, so intensati, right? Did I pronounce that correctly?
Yeah,
Intensati has the
intensati.
word intention in it, right? Intent,
Yes,
right?
it's
It's
intention.
beautiful. I love that.
Yeah, and then sati is the Pali word for mindfulness. So it's intentional mindfulness. And like I said,
Good.
the cardio is based on moves we all know, right? Kickboxing and dancing and yoga moves. And it's the way that it's all put together with the call and response, which it's awkward for a little bit, right? Because that's not what people are used to. So it's at first awkward, then it becomes mechanical, that okay, I can do this, or I'll do it even though I might not want to. Then it becomes embodied, where
Mhm.
it becomes a little bit, and then it's empowering. It's so empowering. I've seen magic happen when I've taught classes, or if I've been in classes with people who've never experienced it before.
Well, that's amazing. So you're going through your own transformation, and you said you're 100 pounds overweight. And yet you said, I'm committed to, to myself, to growing, to believing that there's more for me out there. So tell me significant challenges that you faced so far on your journey to becoming this warrior.
Yeah, I have to say that the grief journey during this time, um, not only did I get to re-examine how hurt, and everything I was pushing down after my father died in 2014. It was just 10-year anniversary. But through this journey, I was able to touch those feelings and understand that pushing them down was only going to make them explode or implode inside of me, and not in a
Hmm.
healthy way. But by talking about my father in this case, and by being in community with other people who've had other situations, being in a safe space, that no matter, even if it's not the grief journey, a vulnerable place of feelings, and learning how to process them. That's pretty much what the journey with Intensati and with the spiritual fitness community, to really explore those feelings and not push them down anymore, which is what I had done almost my entire life.
Isn't that, you know, you're not the only woman that I've spoken to, or man, that we grow up, but we start developing all of these shields, as I call them, at an early age, and then it kind of stifles our growth, and we get we start avoiding things, we start avoiding people, and it's kind of like inside of us, we know there's more, but we don't want to appear vulnerable, we don't want to be hurt again, so we put up these shields. And what does that do for us? It just hurts us, right? And it can hurt us physically, it can hurt us mentally, it hurts us, our health suffers. And so this journey of personal growth and personal development that you are on and continue to go on does nothing but improve your life. Is that true?
Oh, it's absolutely true. I cannot believe I'm the same person that I was back then, because like you just hit on, like, disconnected. I call it autopilot. Like
Hmm.
after, before, but I did not know that I was sleeping. I didn't know, sort of like sometimes when we drive to work or drive to that place we do
Hmm.
so in our routine, or with repetition, and you get there and you're not sure how you're there. That's how I felt, trying to process all of this. Like I had a great life in a lot of ways. Most people would think I'm successful in the career that I chose, that most people would look at my life and be, wow, that's great. But what I realized is I wasn't really living. I wasn't open. I was so disconnected. I was isolating from people. And
Mhm.
now that I'm open and I have these energy tools, and some of them I've mentioned, but I just went so deep to learn things that could be tools to manage emotions and feelings and thoughts, and learning all of these things, that a thought is a thing and it's a powerful thing. And when we
Oh, oh,
have, right, negative ones, they loop in there, and there's percentages that we have the same negative thought that we had yesterday, and they repeat if we let them, or
we
we
let
can make
them, and we
a choice.
do. And I call those, I talk about that as the ants of the world, the automatic negative thought syndrome. It's like, okay, so just like a bunch of ants come and attack your picnic, right? Same thing. Something happens and you automatically go to the negative, right? So the ants come marching in. I go, here they come, here they come. And if we allow that to happen, what you've learned, though, and what you've inspired others to do is to learn that it can be different, right? It can be different. With an awareness comes the ability to change, right?
Absolutely. It's awareness. And then for me, it converted to wanting to be of service, wanting to help other people wake up from their sleep, heal from their grief, and just take their life back in their hands, now, and love themselves. Just love, because love is that word that gets thrown around a lot as romantic or as mushy gushy, but to really love ourselves is to know ourselves, and that means accepting the good and the dark, and
Yeah,
accepting it
yeah, no,
all.
I absolutely agree with you. Absolutely agree with you. You know, it's funny. Today, as a matter of fact, I got to share this with you. Today, I was at the gym this morning and I was listening to one of my mentors, and we were talking about forgiveness. And I thought, I am going to go forgiving people that have hurt us in the past, forgiving, because for everyone that's hurt us in our life, there's a lesson, and it can either crush you or it can empower you and inspire you to be better. So I came home and there's this exercise that I know you're familiar with, and it's called the truth letter. So I ran through that exercise today, and I didn't realize I personally was harboring a lot of anger. Oh my goodness. So I let it go. And then I started laughing. I started just laughing so hard, Rhonda. It was pretty funny. And then and I ripped it up and I was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done with that. Right. Whereas before I would hold on to something and so tightly, and I let it go. I'm done. So what lessons, valuable lessons that you could share with our listeners today?
Well, for me, what I've come up with as a framework to work into almost any situation, whether it's using intensati, whether it's through my grief journey or through others' grief journey, I call them the 5 pillars of ease. So it's number one is to elevate, get around people who are thinking differently. If
Hmm.
there's a book you want to read that you've never thought of before, something you want to, leadership or spiritual related, whatever it is that's going to bring you to the next level, get around it. There are groups out there. So elevate. Then energy, right? Changing our energy, learning about our energy. There are so many tools that are out there, that intensati being one of them, changing your physicality, affirmations with purpose, just changing our meditation, energy, forms of energy to change our state, getting in nature, just putting on music, changing our energy. Then exercise, right? Whatever the exercise is that you want to do, get out of your own way, get out of my own way, right? So exercise, and with exercise, it's not just the physical, it's also the practice, the idea of practice and really getting good at whatever that is. So it might be meditation if you haven't done that before. It's a practice, developing that routine. Then the next is embody, right? Number 4 is embody. Just whatever that is to you, whether it's the meditation, whether it's if it's a grief journey, putting pictures of your loved ones, immersing yourself in the affirmations, becoming them, just immersing yourself in their stories, like whatever it is you need, embody it, master it. And then the last pillar is evolve, right? Take that measurement of where you are and then pick that next thing, right? That next goal. So constant evolution, so we don't get stuck. So that's the 5 pillars.
That's beautiful. Your 5 pillars of E, you know, and I have mine, which is my I call them my success words, and they all begin with a C. And you know, it's just something triggers within us and it sticks with us, right?
Yeah.
So now I want to segue into your book. So show me a copy of your book. Show me a copy of your book. What's the title of the book? What's the title of the book?
Healing a Hangry Heart, Breaking Points to Breakthroughs. So this is my love child. And I definitely encourage everyone to really think about what their story is and putting it to paper, whether it's a journal or whether they want to publish. I have found so much healing has happened just by going back into my story and touching it. And you know, what I had to realize too is I needed to make space to acknowledge it and acknowledge the time that has passed and the success that has passed. So it's a love letter to Intensati. It's a love letter to Patricia, my mentor, who founded Intensati, because as part of my grief journey, I witnessed my mentor during pandemic. She was diagnosed with cancer, and she put up a really hard fight. But in the end, she died in January of 2022. So this book is a love letter to her, because before she passed, I promised her that I would help people understand this message of waking up, of Intensati, to help, you know, pay attention to our spiritual fitness as much as our physical fitness. And she taught me so much, and watching her gracefully go through her journey as she was still teaching, as she was still coaching up until, you know, the last month. And in a lot of ways, by witnessing that, I also started to prepare tools for when my mom would pass 5 months later. So the book is just a tribute to all of my grief journey. And that's not how it started out to be, but that is what it became. So it is.
No, and it's a beautiful, you said healing a hangry heart.
Yeah.
So you were angry and
Yes.
hungry at the same time, right? Is that what?
Yeah, I mean, you know, a lot of my story has to do with I've had a life, almost lifelong, or since my teenage years, food addiction or emotionally overeating, like feeding my emotions with food. And so it was kind of a play on words, if you will, because you know, a hungry heart, or always feeling hungry, and being angry at the same time. So yeah.
No, I love it. It's beautiful, but I can relate. I mean, I have a love relationship with food too. Yes, I mean, it is my go-to emotion. Okay. and we'll go to the emotional eating, and just knowing that we're so aware of it now, and things that we have control over and can change in our own lives, right? And I no longer, if I feel like having something, I don't beat myself up, right? We give ourselves some grace, right? We give ourselves some grace. So you're excited about the future now. Now, how do you see your business or your industry evolving over the next couple of years?
Yes, well, I have this book out.
Mhm.
I'm currently developing the course to go with this book, as well as in May, at the end of May, I have another book. I'm in a partnership with Lisa Nichols.
Mhm.
Uh, authored, I co-authored with her, and I contributed a chapter in her book, Rise Up. So I'm really getting excited about that, and using the book to open doors for organizations that are interested, to help their employees, whether they're on a grief journey or a corporate burnout type of situation. We want to really help with the work-life balance, and really help people understand that they have all the tools within them if they allow
Mhm.
it. So.
Absolutely. And this is what I always wanted. I said, people, listen up. I always say, people, listen up. Anything that you choose to do, you can make happen. It
Mhm.
really is a choice. And that's what personal growth and personal development is all about. And you see the opportunities. You just have to be open to see the opportunities and not look at the world through dark lenses, because the world's a beautiful place out there. You just have
Mhm.
to go get on the merry-go-round and keep on going, is what I say. So I always ask this question. If the genie came down right now onto your shoulders and said, I'm granting you 3 wishes, what would those be?
The first one is, I wish that grief wasn't as painful a journey for me
Mm,
or for anyone. Number two would be peace in this world, um, resolution to the diversity and wars that are happening, as well as the racism. So a peaceful world. And number three, sharing that intensity with 7.2 billion people
Oh,
is
I love that. That is good. That's good. Sharing intensity with 7.2 billion people on the planet. That
that's
is
right.
awesome. And I just think that the more of us out there sharing good messages is what the world needs, because we are surrounded by negativity. And those of us in the personal growth and personal development space are just providing such guidance and influence to others. And we have to continue to do so, right? We just have
Yeah.
to do it because we have
Mhm.
enough of that other stuff. That's why I don't watch the news. I don't listen to the negativity. I choose to live in my own lane, my own world, and being a role model for others, right? That's what I choose to do. So now, if somebody wanted to get a hold of you, what is the best way to reach you?
Probably the best way is on Instagram at Break Wide Open is the handle, my Instagram handle. Also, my website is Spiritual Fitness Warriors. So either of those ways, that'll get to me.
I love that. Spiritualfitnesswarriors.com. Yes, spiritualfitnesswarriors.com, or Break Wide Open at Instagram. And
Yeah.
I know you're working on developing new programs. I love the 5 pillars of E. The 5 E's are beautiful because they embody all the things. We elevate, we energize, we exercise, we embody in ourselves, and we're constantly evolving. That's what it's all about, because personal growth is a never ending journey, right? It's
That's
never
right.
ending,
That's
because you
right.
hit this plateau and then there's always going to be another level, right? It's a beautiful thing. So, what's one message you'd like to leave with anybody, if anything else at all? What is one message that you might want to leave?
I guess I want to encourage people to understand that grief is normal and that we need to feel it to heal it, and just not to be afraid of feeling it, because
Okay.
the way that we love is how much pain that will be during our grief journey. So it's
Yes,
absolutely equal. The amount of pain is equal to the amount of love.
I would absolutely agree with that. 100%. 100%. And I just say, put your book up again. And I'm putting mine up, right? See?
Yeah.
Same messages, right? Put your, yours is about, I put my big girl panties on so we can get over it, because we all have challenges in our life, right? But we have such resilience. Rhonda, I cannot tell you how grateful I am that you joined us today and that you are sharing your story and your intensity. That's a new word on me. Yeah, I'm gonna go look it up now. I gotta go check it out because A, I love to exercise, and B, I love affirmations.
Mm.
So it's kind of like, oh yeah, that's on my gig. Yeah, no different. So I want to say to you, thank you again. And to my friends out there, you have to know that sharing these messages of positivity are important. So why don't you go ahead right now, hit the share button and share it with 2 or 3 friends that need to hear a message or may want to hear about intensati. Come on, that's something new. I think it's so cool. And again, thanks for joining in this week. And as always, my friends, until next week, stay focused, stay positive, and always have fun. And no matter what you choose to be, do, or have, do it with passion. And we are out until next week. Thanks, my friends.